What's up, everyone? So we're here with another new live stream, a live discussion of weekday football. We currently have Valencia versus Atletico Madrid going on in the La Liga. Also, lots of transfer news to talk about. The initial plan for today's live stream was a UFC discussion, but unfortunately, there isn't anything remotely we could discuss about the UFC at the moment because there were no UFC events this past weekend. And in the last live stream, I did discuss the UFC Paris card, which is coming up this weekend. So we're gonna get on with the UFC live streams once we get nearer to the UFC Paris card this weekend. But for now, let's just quickly start off with this live discussion, football live discussion with the watch along of Valencia versus Atletico Madrid in the La Liga. But yeah, of course, the big talking point, or rather the big topic of discussion from today's live stream is going to be the transfer news. Because lots of transfer news, as I said, has come in the last few hours or so. Obviously, the biggest one being Anthony, who is now set to join Manchester United from Ajax, another former Ajax player joining Manchester United and set to reunite with Eric Ten Hag at the club. But yeah, as far as this Valencia versus Atletico Madrid game is going on, is concerned, we have 15 minutes so far. 15 minutes have been played so far, and the score is nil-nil. Quickly read out the starting 11 teams. So, in case you guys like don't follow La Liga that much, but you probably know by now that Gennaro Gattuso is the manager of Valencia, new manager of Valencia, and the fact that he's up against someone like Diego Simeone makes it very interesting for this match because we could expect a few fights, because Atletico Madrid, as we know, obviously one of the roughest teams out there in all of Europe. We know what they can do when they're pissed off. But yeah, as far as the starting 11 are concerned, Atletico have Oblak, Marcos Llorente, Witzel, Axel Witzel, Reynildo, and Saul, who's playing at left back for some reason. I think he's playing at left wing back more like. And yeah, Oblak, of course, in goal. We have Koke, Kondogbia, Rodrigo De Paul in midfield. Apparently, there has been some news about Rodrigo De Paul likely to miss this year's World Cup. It just crossed my mind. But Joao Felix and Alvaro Morata, who has been in good form lately, I would say, scored a hat trick in preseason against Juventus, leading the line for Atletico Madrid. In as far as Valencia are concerned, we have Mama Dashvili, the Georgian goalkeeper. In goal, we have Thierry Correa. Then we have Irai Kumart, Diakabi, and Lato, Tony Lato in defense for Valencia. Musa. Then we have Guillamon in the center of midfield for Valencia. And leading the line is, leading the line we have Samu Castillejo in the right wing position. We have Carlos Soler at CAM. Then we have Samuel Lino in the left wing and Marcos Andre leading the line for Valencia. So yeah, 16 minutes gone so far. Good, high, intense football. But to be honest, for this video, for this live stream, my main focus is going to be discussing more about the transfers and the confirmed transfers, or rather the transfer rumors that are going on. at the moment. So that will be my primary focus for this live stream because obviously lots and lots of big transfer news coming in, as I said, with Anthony being the biggest player to have switched teams in the last 24 hours. He's moved to Manchester United. Obviously, I don't think there is an official confirmation as of yet, but yeah, 100 million is the official transfer fee for Anthony, and of course, some more really interesting transfer news. Let's quickly jump to the Twitter machine to check what's going on. Anthony arriving at Manchester United's training ground with a big smile on his face. So yeah, it's pretty much confirmed. Another big news is that Anthony's Brazilian national teammate Lucas Paqueta has moved to West Ham United. West Ham have now signed seven players, I believe, in this transfer window rather. Paqueta being their highest signed player with 60 million, followed by Gianluca Scamacca, 36 million. And of course, they brought in the likes of Maxwell Cornet, Emerson Palmieri, Thilo Kehrer from PSG. But somehow they still find themselves, I think, they're in the bottom of the Premier League unless they somehow manage to get out of the relegation zone with the last win over Aston Villa. Yes, they're currently sitting at 16th. Leicester City on the bottom with 1 point. West Ham have one win on the board so far. But yeah, you would expect a lot more from them, considering the fact that they have signed so many good players. But yeah, getting back to the transfers, Lucas Paqueta, obviously a good signing for West Ham. I think he will suit their style, given the fact that West Ham play a 4-2-3-1 formation generally, and obviously that allows sort of, that sort of allows Jared Bowen to play as a striker. I think he's been playing more as a CAM, or maybe he's been playing more on the right these days, but that definitely allows Jared Bowen to play as a striker. Okay, so West Ham, they are known for playing 4-2-3-1, and we have Kufal, Zuma, Kerr, obviously Cresswell at the back, Suchek, Jekyll, Rice in the midfield, and Pablo Fornals. Instead of Pablo Fornals, I would expect someone like Lucas Paqueta coming in and slotting in the number 10 role. So yeah, good signing that for West Ham. And then moving on, another big signing that could be confirmed in the next few hours is obviously Wesley Fofana, who could move to Chelsea. The only issue with Wesley Fofana, I think, is that he's very injury prone. I just quickly put in my other pair of headphones so we could listen to the commentary of Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. But yeah, could you imagine absolute baller like Lucas Paqueta moving to West Ham a few years ago? I mean, that would have been such an unrealistic transfer a few weeks ago. Alvaro Morata there closing in on goal. Good ball there from Marcos Llorente from the right. I think Marcos Llorente is like one of Spain's best players at the moment because he can play in the midfield, he can play right back, right wing back. So yeah, definitely can play in a lot of positions. So they have a good player that can cover, the midfield area or the defensive area if needed. But yeah, moving on with the transfers, Martin Dubravka has now moved to Manchester United. It's officially done as per Fabrizio Romano. He's on a year loan from Newcastle United, and it would be shocking if somehow Martin Dubravka starts over David De Gea, considering the fact that United refused to start someone like Dean Henderson over David De Gea in these past few seasons. So it'll be really shocking because United have always preferred David De Gea, but now given the fact that De Gea is not in the best of forms, because obviously he's also not very liked these days by Manchester United supporters, but I've always rated David De Gea. But we shall see if somehow Martin Dubravka manages to. What a goal that is! Yunus Musa absolutely with an absolute screamer. And somehow Gennaro Gattuso is still not impressed. He's still pissed off. What a hit. It's pretty much something that Luis Alberto did a few days ago when Lazio played Inter Milan. And we saw something similar from Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's pretty much almost an identical goal, if you will. What a hit that is. Yunus Musa giving Valencia the lead 1-0. Brilliant placement. Absolute rocket of a goal. So yeah, Valencia leading 1-0. And yeah, I mentioned previously that Atletico Madrid have been struggling this season. I mean, they have been quite average, to be honest. Um, I know they have just lost one game so far. Yeah, I know they have just lost one game so far. There's been a VR check for some reason. Not sure why, but I think it's because of a foul that Yunus Musa committed, and this goal might get ruled out. Imagine if it gets ruled out. Yellow cards for both Diego Simeone and Gennaro Gattuso, as you expect. But yeah, imagine if this goal gets cancelled, courtesy of VAR. Hope I hope that isn't the case. And there's a challenge from Diakabi, I believe. Who's given the goal? He has to give that goal, man. Come on. Imagine if that goal got ruled out. It'd be such a crime. So yeah, 1-0 for Valencia. As I was mentioning, Atletico Madrid have been struggling a bit this season. They have been quite average, if you will, because uh, they lost the last game to Valencia 2-0. Oh, wait a minute. The goal has been ruled out. Come on, man. What's going on? They actually ruled out this goal because of a foul committed by Diakabi. Could have been an early contender for the goal of the season, but it's now been ruled out. Like, if you guys can just go on Twitter and just look at this goal, you'll probably find a few clips, or just go on Reddit and just look at this goal, man. It's just insane. But come on, bro. How do you rule that goal out? I mean, it is clearly a foul, but I'd probably let it slide. Okay, so moving on with the transfers. Next up, we have Hannibal Madri. who has joined Birmingham from Manchester United on a season-long loan. I have no idea why Manchester United prefer not to play someone like him because I mean he's probably young. I mean he is young, but that might be the reason. Yunus Musa on the run. But yeah, good challenge by Axel Witsel. He's Guillaume on. Cross by Tony Latta. Oh, Marcus Andre with the strike from inside the box. But it's well over. As I was saying, Hannibal Madri, of course, not exactly in contention to start for Manchester United, but it probably has to do with the fact that he's quite young, but obviously he's very talented. So yeah, I hope he has a future in United because obviously we know that United have a history of sort of not playing these youngsters and putting them out of favor. Valencia on the attack here. Poor cross out for a corner. Next up, Callum Hudson-Odoi in Germany ahead of his move to Bayer Leverkusen. Loan deal, 1 year loan deal. Smart signing this from Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously prefers both sides because Callum Hudson-Odoi for some reason out of contention at Chelsea. Has been out of contention at Chelsea. For some reason, Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to start him anymore. Even though I believe that he did play him every now and then last season, but for some reason he hasn't been starting in this new season. But yeah, this move to Bayer Leverkusen should benefit both sides. Ajax now in advanced talks with Chelsea over the potential return of Hakim Ziyech to the club. Ajax obviously have 100 million to spend. Obviously, after selling Anthony, so they would obviously prefer bringing in a big name, a big money name to replace someone like Anthony. And you would expect Hakim Ziyech because he hasn't been playing that much in Chelsea either, unless I'm forgetting the fact that he's injured, which I don't think he is. Yeah, Hakim Ziyech, obviously, here you can see on the bench. He was on the bench in Chelsea's recent win over Leicester City, so he's obviously not injured. So you would expect the fact that there are chances of him returning to Ajax, considering that Thomas Tuchel now doesn't like Hakim Ziyech as well. I mean, he was never really Tuchel's favorite player, was he? Because honestly, he didn't start as many games as you would expect him to start under Tuchel, considering to the games he started under Lampard. Good chance there from by fumbled by Alvaro Morata. I think it was offside though. But yeah, 30 minutes played here at Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. 0-0 the score. Yunus Musa's goal has been ruled out. An incredible goal, could have been an early contender for the goal of the season even, but it's been ruled out due to a foul that was committed on Joao Felix in the lead up to that goal. The goal was in fact ruled out after a VR check, which makes it even worse. Atleti on the attack, good save by the keeper, good attempt there from Joao Felix, and good save by the Valencia keeper. And yeah, so getting back to transfers, Hakim Ziyech could be moving to Ajax in the near future. Then we have Jude Bellingham. Liverpool are ready to pay 100 million for Jude Bellingham, over 100 million for Jude Bellingham next summer. Real Madrid are also interested in the midfielder who they see as a long-term replacement for Luka Modric. A big battle between these two clubs is expected in 2023 summer window. Obviously, Liverpool FC have sort of gambled with this one because they are, or rather, they have been quite confident that they will pay 100 million to Dortmund for the signing of Jude Bellingham, and they are quite confident about the fact that they will secure his signing. But that doesn't seem to be the case because Real Madrid are also in contention, and when the European champions, or rather the biggest European club, is in contention to sign you, that's when you sort of get conflicted because Jude Bellingham could very well choose Real Madrid over Liverpool next summer. Who knows? And Liverpool might find themselves in trouble because they opted not to sign a midfielder in this window, as they relied on the fact that Jude Bellingham will be a Liverpool FC player by next summer. But now that Real Madrid have come in into the discussion, maybe they will end up signing him. Who knows? Fulham started discussions to sign Hussein Awar from Lyon. The player was not interested in joining OGC Nice. He prefers to move to England. What happened to Awar, man? I remember him being linked to Liverpool and all these big clubs, and now Fulham wants him. No disrespect to Fulham or Tony Khan, but for some reason, he's gone from Liverpool to Fulham. Marco Asensio in the news as well. His agent has offered Manchester United and Arsenal the chance to sign the Real Madrid winger in the last 2 weeks, but I don't think that Carlo Ancelotti is willing to let Marco Asensio leave because he's obviously a very important part of this Real Madrid team, especially given the fact that out of the blue, excuse me, especially given the fact that out of the blue, Casemiro has left Real Madrid. So obviously, Ancelotti wouldn't want someone like Marco Asensio, who has been very crucial for Madrid in these last few years. So yeah, Ancelotti would probably like to retain Asensio. Tottenham Hotspur in talks to sign Yannick Carrasco. His Atletico Madrid release clause is 60 million. Conte has been a long time admirer of the player. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a fan of this guy as well, Carrasco. I'm glad he came back from China because a player of his caliber shouldn't be playing in that league. I shouldn't be wasting away his career. So obviously, I'm glad he re-signed with Atletico. Maybe we'll see him in the Premier League. Who knows? But I don't think this transfer is going to happen. Um, even though Carrasco is not starting tonight's game, is he on the bench? He is on the bench. He's not starting. Griezmann is on the bench as well. Correa is on the bench as well. Griezmann, of course, hasn't been in form as of late. Atletico want to get rid of him, and I don't think Barcelona want him back either. So poor times, or the sad times for Antoine Griezmann. Valencia attacking from the left, and they have a corner. 35 minutes gone. Still nil-nil. Few good chances in this game so far, but obviously my main focus is discussing the transfer rumors that are circling on the internet. Cristiano Ronaldo back in the news once again. His agent Jorge Mendes and Napoli have been in discussions over Cristiano Ronaldo's future ahead of Thursday's transfer deadline day. And I don't think that this move is going to happen, even though Napoli feels like the only club who might be remotely interested in signing Ronaldo. But I just don't think this is going to happen because there's no way Ronaldo is going to leave Manchester United on the deadline day. After all the drama that has happened throughout this window, there is no way Cristiano Ronaldo is leaving Manchester United on the final day of the transfer window. I just don't think it's going to happen. PSG and Everton have settled the final details for transfer of Idrissa Gueye. I mean, come on, just sign him already. It's been weeks since this rumor has been going around, and somehow, for some reason, PSG still haven't sold their players. Kurzawa is still a PSG player, despite the fact that he hasn't started a game or played a game in forever. And of course, this PSG squad is ridiculously stacked at the moment, and I'm pretty sure they want to get rid of a few players, but for some reason, nobody wants to sign these players. I mean, at one point, I did think that Leonardo Paredes, did I get his name right? Is it Leonardo Paredes or is it Leandro Paredes? Leandro Paredes. For some, at one point, I did think that Leandro Paredes was going to leave PSG this summer as well, but that hasn't been the case. Could this be a red card offense here for Valencia? That's a red card, straight red card. Yep. Alvaro Morata clear through on goal, taken down by the last man. Thierry Correa. Did I get the name right? The right back, basically. Um, Committing a foul on Alvaro Morata. He was the last man. He was through on goal, even though we're not sure if he was going to score or not. But Morata was through on goal, got taken down, and it's a straight red. Valencia are down to 10 men. Probably going to be a VR check, but I just don't think there needs to be a VR check for this one here. All right, so as I was saying, PSG for some reason haven't sold their players that they don't generally use these days. Kurzawa hasn't been sold yet. Idrissa Gueye's deal hasn't been confirmed yet. Everton want to re-sign the player, but that hasn't happened, obviously. But yeah, hopefully we see a few of these PSG players leave. So yeah, next up we have Andrea Belotti, who recently signed with Roma from Torino. Good signing, good backup for Tammy Abraham. Abraham in desperate need of some competition in that Roma team. Afena Gian, of course, leaving Roma earlier today. So obviously, even though he was a winger, but yeah, basically there's just no proper competition for Tammy Abraham, and I think Belotti could be the right man for that. Okay, so the big one here is that Chelsea have terminated Ross Barkley's contract by mutual consent, and the Englishman is now a free agent. Ross Barkley, man, what a player he was back at Everton. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Ross Barkley play back in the day, I just I would just advise you guys to go search on YouTube Ross Barkley best skills or whatever you want to search. Just search all that stuff and just check for yourself how good of a player Ross Barkley was back in the day. Okay, we have a situation here. Is the red card getting overturned? I believe this game has been full of drama. It's a yellow card for some reason, even though this guy was the last man, but it's a yellow card. And Valencia, after getting their goal ruled out, now have a red card turned over. This game has been full of drama, and it's just 41 minutes. Even though that should have been a clear red card, I believe, because Morata was the last man, and we'll just call this guy Thierry, okay? This right back, we'll just call him Thierry. And Thierry took him down. All right, so moving on. Yeah, we're speaking of Ross Barkley, right? So Ross Barkley Obviously, a great player at one stage of his career. Obviously, a good player when he was at Everton, but things didn't work out for him here at Chelsea, as it just doesn't generally work out for most players these days. But Barkley, man, he's like the Danny Drinkwater 2.0. It's sad that things didn't work out for him because he was an exceptional talent at one stage. Maybe he could have, sort of revitalized his career like John Stones did, because I'm not sure if you guys remember, but John Stones at one point in his career was also not very good, to be honest. And then it was either last season or like 2 seasons ago when he just completely turned his career around at Man City under Pep Guardiola, became one of City's primary main defenders at the back, started games alongside Ruben Diaz, looked very confident, and of course, John Stones now is one of Man City's crucial players, even though in recent times he has been out of contention with the likes of Nathan Ake coming in into the starting 11, Laporte also being involved in the mix. But yeah, Ross Barkley probably could have turned his career around if he was presented with a proper opportunity. He did play at loan somewhere recently, I think. Can't remember where. He's 28 years old, man, not even 30. He was at Aston Villa. Yes, I think he was probably at Aston Villa under Gerrard, or was he? The Aston Villa. No, he was under. He was under Dean Smith. He wasn't under Gerrard. I don't think Gerrard ever had the opportunity to manage him, but I think Ross Barkley was part of that Villa team, was probably starting that game where they defeated Liverpool 7-1, or excuse me, 7-2 rather. Yeah, Ross Barkley was on the score sheet of that game. Ollie Watkins scored a hat trick, if you guys remember. He scored a 40-minute hat trick. John McGinn scored in the 35th minute. Ross Barkley was the one who scored in the 55th minute. And then we had Jack Grealish score 2 goals in 10 minutes in the second half. 7-2, still quite unbelievable that Liverpool actually lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. But to be honest, that season was really, really woeful for us. But yeah, Ross Barkley was part of that team that beat Liverpool 7-2 a few seasons ago, and he was actually on the score sheet. So that gives me the hope that things might work eventually for Ross Barkley with a proper team. Maybe he could just go to the championship, because there are lots of top level championship clubs who are hungry for some Premier League competition. So maybe Barkley could just go to one of the championship clubs after his contract was recently terminated by Chelsea FC. We have 5 more minutes in this Valencia Atletico Madrid first half. 5 additional minutes in this first half after lots of controversy, lots of drama, red card getting overturned, a banger of a goal getting cancelled due to a foul. But yeah, 5 more minutes to go. The score is still somehow nil-nil. And speaking of the championship, we have Reading sitting at the top of the table. Sheffield United number 2, Hull City number 3. So obviously Ross Barkley could very well find himself playing for one of these clubs. I think the perfect option for him would be Norwich City. For some reason, I think he will just suit perfectly in the Norwich City lineup, in the Norwich City system, whatever you want to call it. And new Valencia signing Edinson Cavani is in the stands watching them play. Finally, finding himself a new club after leaving Manchester United. Very excited to see him play in the La Liga. I think he would have. I think I would have preferred seeing him play for Villarreal, to be honest. But Villarreal obviously have that striking department fixed at the moment with Gerard Moreno and who else is there? I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a few names. They had Dia. They had Dia. I know, but he's probably left the club now. Okay, Villarreal actually playing Jose Morales, a 35-year-old Jose Morales of all people. So I don't know what stopped them from signing someone like Edinson Cavani. Very prolific Edinson Cavani, of course, in front of goal. Can probably still score solid 12 to 15 goals for Valencia if he gets the right supply that he will hope for from the midfield. But of course, I'm looking forward to seeing him play in La Liga. So what else do we have? Lots of other non-transfer related drama in the world of football. Obviously, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting robbed in his home earlier today. Four men broke into his home and threatened him and his wife with a firearm. That's really messed up, if you ask me. I mean, that's really messed up if you ask anyone, obviously. But yeah, these things have been happening for quite some time these days in football. We saw something similar happen to Fede Valverde when he was enjoying his vacation in Ibiza during the preseason, I believe. But yeah, there's also another big news. There's of course not transfer related, but Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba, and all that Pogba family drama has been really ridiculous to witness. And Atletico Madrid are through on goal at the moment, and they somehow fail to take the lead because Alvaro Morata has missed a sitter. Of course, it's Alvaro Morata who misses a sitter, but I think it was offside. Yeah, it probably was offside. Was he? I think it was João Felix who was offside, unless he didn't get a touch of the ball in the first place. I'm not sure. But Morata missing that golden opportunity to score. I think it was saved by the keeper. It was rather saved by the keeper, but yeah, it's still a miss. Probably should have tucked that away. But yeah, getting back to the Pogba family drama, something is wrong there. Obviously, Matthias Pogba blackmailing rather, or whatever that situation is. He also has called out Kylian Mbappe, I believe, in that drama because Mbappe is somehow related to it. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But yeah, he did say recently that he has no negative feeling towards Mbappe, and there is some witchcraft s- stuff that is also going on. I have no idea what that is, but yeah, let's just move on. That's basically it for this transfer window, I guess, unless you guys want to talk about the fact that Nottingham Forest have now signed 17 senior players in this transfer window, including Renan Lodi, who just joined from Atletico Madrid on a season long loan, and the fact that Nottingham Forest still somehow sitting in 14th, even after all these signings, is just ridiculous. Somehow Forest are still in the 14th position in the Premier League table. But yeah, once all of their signings are registered, all of them are playing together, I think we'll see better results from Forest. But yeah, 17 signings for Nottingham Forest in this window. Some big names there. Morgan Gibbs White, obviously one big name. Mo Ruler, the Swiss midfielder, also joining from Atalanta, and of course Dean Henderson, Wayne Hennessy, two big goalkeepers, big name goalkeepers rather. Jesse Lingard also joining Nottingham Forest. So yeah, they will be hoping to get the results in the coming few days. But yeah, biggest transfer news that I would really want to talk about is the fact that Liverpool FC still haven't signed anyone, despite Jurgen Klopp coming out and admitting that Liverpool do need a midfielder. But before we continue, I just want to point out that it's halftime here at Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. The score is nil-nil. Lots of chances. The big highlights from the first half is the fact that Yunus Musa's goal, Yunus Musa's goal was um, rather overturned due to a VR check after a foul courtesy of Diakabi, who committed a foul on Joao Felix in the lead up to that goal. There was also a red card for Thierry, the Valencia right back, who clearly tackled Alvaro Morata, who was through on goal, and Thierry was the last man. So it should have been a red card in my opinion, but somehow it got overturned and is now a yellow card. So still Valencia have all 11 men on the pitch. Then, of course, in the closing stages of that first half, Alvaro Morata missed an absolutely golden opportunity. He rather got saved by the Valencia keeper, but it's still a miss regardless. So, yeah, three big talking points, I believe, from this first half. And we are at nil-nil here at Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. It's halftime. So that gives us the opportunity to discuss about Liverpool FC and their midfield crisis. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp came out and said a few weeks ago, rather a few days ago, that Liverpool FC are looking to sign a new midfielder in this window. He initially, when the window, or rather the season was beginning, he had admitted that Liverpool don't need a midfielder, and he also named the likes of Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, all the available midfielders Liverpool had at that point. So he just straight up said that you tell me what's the issue here. We have so many options available to us at the moment, so we don't really need anyone. But Jurgen Klopp, big Jurgen Klopp, doesn't realize the fact that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita are probably just fit to play 10 games combined every season because they're very fragile and, and they have a tendency to get injured every now and then. So, Klopp coming out and admitting that Liverpool do need a midfielder, which was the right call, but the fact that the transfer window ends in 2 days now, I believe, and Liverpool still haven't signed anyone. So, it makes me want to think that this signing, whoever they bring in, if they somehow bring anyone in, is going to be a panic buy and not a sensible decision. It's probably going to be something like Liverpool did when they brought in Stephen Cocker a few seasons back. Remember Cocker? Yes, so it's probably going to be something like that because obviously us Liverpool fans were expecting someone like Frankie De Jong coming in, but let's just be honest, Frankie De Jong was never going to be possible. But the fact that Liverpool FC didn't go for Ruben Neves is just ridiculous because Neves, I'm pretty sure, would have loved to play for a team like Liverpool, who have been constantly playing in the Champions League, who have been winning trophies, who have been in finals almost on a regular basis over the past few seasons. So even the fact that Ruben Neves is the new Wolves captain, if Liverpool had tried signing him earlier in the transfer window, I'm pretty sure they could have gotten a deal out of him. But yeah, unfortunately, it's way too late. And now that Connor Cody is gone, Neves is obviously the new captain for Wolves, and there's no way he's just leaving at this stage of the window. So, what are the options Liverpool FC had at the moment to sign for the midfield position. Obviously, number one you would say is Konrad Leimer, who currently plays for RB Leipzig. He is in the final year of his contract, if you guys didn't know that. And he has been constantly wanted by Bayern Munich throughout this transfer window. Now, that probably will make you think that, okay, maybe he's a good player since Bayern Munich want him, but I mean, I'm not discrediting him, but the fact that you would expect someone like Konrad Leimer to step in to cover for the injured Liverpool FC midfielders is just sort of ridiculous, to be honest. Just give me a second. There you go. All right. So, as I was saying, yeah. So you wouldn't really expect someone like Konrad Leimer to step in and cover that midfield position when you have so many injury crises. Let's quickly change the picture for a second. I think this looks better. So yeah, obviously Liverpool had a few other options. Yuri Tillemans being one of them. I would have definitely loved to see Tillemans sign for us after Ruben Neves, because even though he has had injury issues over the last few seasons. I think Tillemans fits Liverpool FC perfectly. He has played alongside Fabinho in the past, and the fact that he has also been playing in the Premier League for so many seasons for Leicester City gives a massive advantage. You know, if you sign someone like Yuri Tillemans, but it's just not happening at this stage. And I think if Liverpool FC do bring in someone, it's probably going to be Konrad Leimer. Yeah, so Leimer, not the creative midfielder that you would hope for in your side when you're looking for obviously a creative midfielder in this situation, because Liverpool have been struggling in terms of their creativity in the midfield, and just don't judge their performance this season based on that performance over Bournemouth, based on that 9-0 win, because I mean, you cannot do that. You cannot judge your entire season, the poor start to the season, based on that performance, because Liverpool FC were ridiculously bad against Manchester United. We were very poor against Crystal Palace. The only man who felt like he was trying to do something for us in that game was Luis Diaz. And the first game of the season, which was against Fulham, I would say we played okay in that game, but obviously the creativity in the midfield is what we're lacking. Thiago being injured is a big issue for Liverpool at the moment. The fact that Liverpool have to play James Milner in the midfield obviously gives you an idea of how bad things are at Liverpool, because the fact that Liverpool have to start James Milner rather, because obviously you cannot start James Milner, especially at this stage of the season. It's just 3 games or just 4 games in, and you're starting James Milner already. He's 36. I know he's a tank, but he struggles a lot in terms of his cardio after the 60th minute mark, I believe. So yeah, Liverpool need a creative midfielder. Obviously, Thiago being injured is not helping them. Naby Keita being injured isn't helping them. Oxley Chamberlain. I mean, I'm just tired talking about Oxley Chamberlain. But yeah, yeah. So the few options that Liverpool obviously have right now, realistically speaking, is Moses Caicedo from Brighton, who I don't think is going to sign for Liverpool, and because I don't think Liverpool FC are going to pay 50 million for him at this stage. You know, he's just 20 years old, and Brighton apparently want 50 million for him. I just don't think they'll do that, Liverpool. The other option being Conrad Leimer, who I think realistically is the only transfer target that is going to happen. And of course, Yuri Tillemans definitely not signing at this stage. Ruben Neves is obviously not leaving Wolves. Frankie De Jong, I mean, we should just stop dreaming about Frankie De Jong. He's not coming to Liverpool. There's no way he'll sign for Liverpool over someone like Chelsea or Manchester United. Right? Yeah, that's basically my take on the Liverpool midfield crisis at the moment. Not good times in the red side of Merseyside, even though I can't believe I'm saying not good times, even though we just won 9-0. But yeah, not good times given the fact that we have some really, really stingy owners who prefer not signing players. So there's that. I mean, imagine if Liverpool had this owner, this Chelsea FC owner. I mean, and he just went ahead and told rather to Jurgen Klopp, you can sign anyone you want. I'll just pay. Don't worry about the money. Yeah, once again, Anthony on popping up on my feed. I mean, if this was if this was if this was like the old Manchester United, I would be confident that Anthony would have been a flop. Trust me, I would have been really confident that Anthony would have flopped at United. He would have been a Jadon Sancho 2.0. Jadon Sancho 2.0. I said Sancho. Jadon Sancho 2.0. But Sancho has all of a sudden clicked under Ten Hag, and I'm pretty sure Anthony is going to click as well. He's going to play through that right wing position. Obviously, he's going to replace Elanga in that position. Sancho's going to play through the left, and Rashford has been ridiculously good in the striker role so far. He's been so pacey. He was unstoppable almost against Liverpool in that last in two games before in the last game, basically prior to the prior to United's win over who did they beat in that last match? Prior to United's win over Southampton. So yeah, Anthony is going to be a real success for Liverpool. Excuse me, for Manchester United. Oh, it's just all Liverpool going on right now because we haven't signed anyone, and United just signed 100 million player. So yeah, but yeah, Fabian Ruiz signing for PSG. I'm not sure if this is a pre-contract. Um, or, I mean, why do PSG need another midfielder? Don't they already have Vitinha, Renato Sanchez, Verratti, Paredes, all these guys? I mean, it's probably a backup midfielder, but they haven't exactly sold anyone yet. They still have Danilo Pereira. They still have Gue. And who else do they have? They have Rafinha, who they still haven't sold yet. Julian Draxler is still there, even though he's more like a winger slash CAM slash forward. I don't know. Sarabia's there, who's like a winger. But yeah, there's way too many midfielders. So I just don't think that PSG need Fabian Ruiz unless they're selling anyone. We're not sure if anyone's leaving. But yeah, as far as this Valencia Atletico Madrid game is concerned, we are underway with the second half here. The score is 0-0, and few big talking points in the first half. Obviously, one of them being that red card getting overturned. Also, the goal getting cancelled. A ridiculously good goal that got cancelled due to a foul that was committed on Joao Felix, courtesy of Diakabi, I believe. Courtesy of Diakabi. So yeah, the score is 0-0. Second half has just begun, and shall see. Villains obviously have a few good players in their ranks who I'm expecting are going to leave in the next few seasons. Carlos Soler is the one name that I'm definitely thinking is going to leave because I think he's going to Barcelona. Barcelona have showcased their interest in Soler, and given that Frankie de Jong somehow leaves the club in the near future, I think Soler is going to be a replacement signing for Frankie de Jong. Could be a replacement signing because Barcelona already have a few good midfielders in their ranks with the likes of Pedri, Gavi, Nico Gonzalez, and Valencia here on the attack. Is Kiamon so cleared away by Atletico Madrid? As I was saying, Carlos Soler, I believe, could be on his way to Barcelona at some point in the near future. Atletico Madrid, meanwhile, let's just talk about Atletico Madrid a little. In not really the signings you would expect them to make because obviously they just brought in Nahuel Molina from Udinese and Axel Witsel also came in from Dortmund unless he was let go as a free agent. And yeah, Atletico, I felt should have like strengthened the squad a little bit more in a few positions. But obviously, I think Simeone is quite happy with the squad with Saul Niguez coming back as well. So Castillejo, he's not going off. He's okay. After corner for Valencia, Carlos Soler to take it, headed out. Fabio Carvalho, good player. Just hope Jurgen Klopp switches to a 4-2-3-1 at some point, so Carvalho could play in the number 10 position because he's got such a skillful player to be playing in the central of midfield. So yeah, he should be playing the CAM position. Dele Alli um, has moved to Turkey recently. Not sure if many of you care, but Dele Alli has moved to Turkey. Let's see how Besiktas have been doing. Victory over Sivaspor earlier today. Weghorst scoring a goal. Weghorst obviously um, departing Burnley. I think he's out on loan. He's probably out on loan. Yeah, he's on loan. Still a Burnley player, but out on loan at Besiktas. Welcome to Besiktas. Dele Alli starting right behind him. At the number 10, Roman Saiz, another former Premier League player who recently moved from Wolves to Besiktas. You have Chelsea Fernandez in there as well. Yep, Jetson Fernandez. Oh, that's Jetson Fernandez, not Jelson Fernandez. And though I think Jelson Fernandez at one point did play for Besiktas, did he? No, he didn't. Never mind. I'm probably going to be doing this watch along of this Atletico, Valencia Atletico game till 60 minutes, unless something exciting happens. Because my only fear for this match was that it's going to end in a nil-nil draw, which I didn't want because it's 2:43 a.m. here, and I don't want to stay awake till 3:30 in the morning watching a game end nil-nil. So I'm probably gonna end this stream and close this match if it stays like this, if the scoreline stays like this for the next 8 minutes. But Besiktas, looking good. How many games did Dele Alli play? Just one? It looks like he just played one game so far. hmm Rashid Ghezal plays for Besiktas now. I mean, the Besiktas have some good players, man. Some well-known, familiar faces, if you would will. Just check out the squad. You have Cenk Tosun, who is obviously a former Everton player. He left Everton earlier this year. Atiba Hutchinson is still the Besiktas captain. Canada legend Atiba Hutchinson, 39 years old. He's still playing for Canada apparently. Has been playing for Besiktas for almost a decade now. Um, Wait a minute. Arthur Masuaku, who scored that winning goal, if you remember, against Chelsea last season, he crossed the ball and Mendy saved it and it went into the back of the net. I think you guys might remember that goal. He is playing for Besiktas. I have no idea that he left West Ham out on loan, but yeah, very strange. But yeah, good for him, getting some good playing time at Besiktas. Tyler Boyd, American international, playing at Besiktas as well. Besiktas have a good squad, man. Dele Alli, of course, their biggest name in that squad, obviously, I would say. And Kudu as well. George Kevin and Kudu, former Spurs player, played for Burnley. But yeah, tomorrow I'm probably gonna do a. I'll try and do two live streams tomorrow. The plan for today was also two live streams. One for the UFC live stream. One was going to be a UFC based live stream, and the other was obviously going to be a football based live stream. Tomorrow I'm going to do a watch along for Southampton versus Chelsea. Hopefully it's a lot more interesting than this, and hopefully I'm more active than I am right now because obviously I don't feel very active, especially watching this game. Active in the sense I'm quite sleepy because it's quite late, and this match isn't helping. I mean, the other day I stayed up for Lazio versus Inter Milan, and it was quite fun. It ended 3-1. Lazio dominating Inter throughout that match almost, and it was quite unusual to see Inter Milan get dominated like that. So yeah, that was fun. But this obviously, I mean, it's been an okay game so far. Valencia and Atletico, good intensity from both teams, but honestly, nah, man, I just need some goals. I just need to see some goals. If I'm gonna stay awake watching you play till 3:30 till 4 a.m., I'm gonna have to see some goals. Or else I'm simply gonna go on Twitter and discuss about football and MMA and whatnot. Even though there's barely anything related to MMA these days. I mean, um, Not really anything related to mixed martial arts. No big MMA news. Hopefully, we'll get some news after today's MMAR featuring Taito Iwasa and a few other big names. So La Liga now has Robert Lewandowski, Edinson Cavani, and Karim Benzema playing for three of their big teams. Obviously, Lewandowski was on target yesterday when Barcelona played Valladolid, and is this camera not straight for some reason? And of course, Benzema also twice on target against Espanyol, scoring that incredible free kick in the 96th minute or the 99th minute. Not sure. But yeah, obviously La Liga now has big, three big number nines. I just got distracted with some WWE news. Whoa, Danny Sabatello throwing hands inside the MMAR studio. Who thought this was a good idea to get Ralphie and Danny Sabatello together in the MMAR studio, man? Who thought this was a good idea? Danny Sabatello is like a character to watch, to be honest. Did anyone watch KSI versus, or rather KSI two fights in one night? KSI obviously calling out Andrew Tate was the biggest news of that night, or rather that event. So yeah, nothing extraordinary to be honest, because KSI was just fighting two washed up boxers. But I understand because he needed to, get off, get rid of that ring rust. So yeah, 60 minutes played here at Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. Still nil-nil. I'm probably going to end the stream. I'm not staying up to watch a football game that's going to end nil-nil, as I've pretty much discussed most of the transfer talks. If any of you are watching this at some point later, maybe you can drop a like, maybe you can drop your thoughts on which transfer you think should happen, might happen, could happen in the next 3 days of the transfer window. And of course, the window is closing shut on Thursday. That's the deadline day. Cristiano Ronaldo still hasn't found himself a Champions League club that's willing to sign him. Napoli in discussion to sign him, but now with Anthony coming in, I'm not sure if Ronaldo's going to start a game ever again this season for United unless it's in the Europa League, which is going to be an absolute shame. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this stream till this much. Paulo Costa, still unbeaten on Twitter with a broken hand. He posted a photo of himself. He posted a photo of himself watching the Luke Rockhold's retirement speech, and then the caption says, "Didn't have a chance to take a selfie with this motherfucker in the cage, so I'll do watching that fight. Thanks, sir." Paulo Costa is still unbeaten on Twitter. But yeah, tomorrow I think we'll return with the UFC streams. Hopefully that will bring back the one person who was coming up with the questions the other day. Other than that, if you guys are somehow watching the stream at some point, drop your comments, drop your thoughts. Hopefully no racist comments. But yeah, um, I'll see you guys next time, I guess, tomorrow, I guess. Because that's it. That's it for this live stream. It's still nil Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. Even though there are two substitutions happening right now, it's Griezmann who's coming on with his new hairstyle, and Lemar is also being brought on to replace Rodrigo de Paul. And Dugby has come off as well. So yeah, hopefully Griezmann scores a goal or two to get this win for Atletico. Maybe someone from Valencia scores a goal to break the deadlock and get this victory. I don't know, man. Just score a goal. Don't let it end nil-nil, because I'm ending this live stream. Thank you so much for watching. If any of you have watched, and I'll see you tomorrow with a UFC live stream, hopefully. And of course, Southampton versus Chelsea, and lots of midweek Premier League action as well. So hopefully, a watch along of that. Till next time.